What? The hole was about 1.5 meters in diameter, and there was earth at the bottom of it instead of concrete. It seems that the hole was caused by an explosion. It wasn't too deep. I could easily climb out later. Oh boy. I should have stopped here, and that's where I should have stopped last time. Welcome to Everlasting Summer. Excuse me. After jumping into the hole, I found myself in something that resembled an old mine. The walls and the ceiling were reinforced with wooden beams. The tunnel was so long that my flashlight was insufficient. ... A few minutes later, I found myself at the crossroads. It's too dangerous to go any further. I could get lost. I decided that it would be a good idea to somehow mark the place from which I would begin my journey into the labyrinth. So I picked a stone and made quite a big notch on the wall. So, go left or go right, people. I'm gonna go right. It seems that there is another fork in the road. Go right. It seems there is another fork in the road. What? What? Finally, I walked out of the tunnel into a rather large hall with a high ceiling. I did not know you could just go right. Though it could hardly be called a hall, unless I was used to mine something here. Coal probably, or maybe gold. Yeah, probably gold. The walls had been cut by pickaxes or pneumatic drills. This place was pitch black, so my only salvation was the flashlight. If it breaks, it's unlikely that I'll ever get out of here. In its ray of light, I suddenly spotted a piece of red cloth appear near his neckerchief. Shurik was obviously here somewhere. Shurik! Shurik! Only my echo answered me. But where could he have gone? There was no other way out. Maybe there are other places in the... Thank you, Ina, for playing Dead by Daylight. I appreciate that. Maybe there are other places in these tunnels that I didn't see. Thanks, Gmail, for telling me that my email stuff. So I should search further. Seems that there is another fork in the road. Why didn't you just keep going in the right? I mean, can I just keep going right? Okay. Around one last turn, a door appeared from the darkness. I opened it and went inside a small room. Nobody was here except Shurik, who sat in the corner. Shurik! He stared at me with eyes full of terror. Ah, don't come near me. Shurik, it's me, Semyon. I won't give up so easily. He grabbed a piece of a reinforced bar from behind his back and started waving it around. Shurik, what's wrong with you? Calm down. First you bring me here, then you take me through this mine, and now you're pretending to be Semyon? He must have gone completely nuts. Shurik, calm down. Nobody's pretending to be me. I really am me. I tried to talk as calmly as I could, but I was almost feeling more nervous than him. Semyon? He squinted. Is that really you? Yes, and now tell me what happened. How did you get here? Shurik recovered his breath and started to talk. I needed some parts for the robot, and I heard that there is a bomb shelter in the old camp, and there could be some instruments there. So I got up in the morning and went. He stopped for a minute, trying to deal with the trembling of his hands. I found suitable parts, but then I read primal fear in his eyes. The voices, they told me to go here. I went down the mine. They never tell me to go to the right and left and right and left and right and left. He started to laugh hysterically. But now they won't get me. I'll stay sitting here. They won't find me here. He once again started to wave his pipe in the air. Shurik, there's no one there. I wasted quite a lot of time walking in the mine like you, but didn't hear any voices. He fixed his eyes on me. Then you're with them. Real rock music here. Shurik rushed towards me. I was just barely able to dodge him when he took the clock. But the flashlight wasn't as lucky and took the full force of Shurik's blow. We found ourselves in complete darkness. Now it was my turn to lose my mind. What have you done, you idiot? I lashed out with my hand in the direction where I expected Shurik to be, but to no avail. Now we will both die here. I got nothing but silence in return, and then a quiet hysterical laugh. It's alright, that's fine. I know where the exit is. Follow me. Follow you where? I can't see a damn thing. Follow my voice. I had no other choice. Here. Shurik's voice was heard from somewhere further on. How do you know where to go? I walked all over here. Then why didn't you leave? The voice is quiet. They can hear us. In theory, I could believe that there are some supernatural forces here. In the Slavya camp, there'd just be a daily occurrence. There was no reason to panic yet, though my hands were shaking non-stop. Here, I slowly followed his voice and eventually lost track of time. We could have been roaming for a few minutes or a few hours. Finally, a dim light appeared in the distance. We're here. We reached the wall. The way towards freedom was blocked by a lattice on the ceiling. I pulled myself up and recognized the square from the bits of landscape I could see. Lift me up. Shurik obediently followed my request. I started to hit the grating with my fists so hard that in just a few strikes my arms were all covered in blood. Ow. But in return the grating gave way and pushed open. A minute later we were out on the surface behind the monument of Genda. When I saw this grating before, I had no idea that there could be a catacombs below it. They will come for you. I fell to the ground exhausted. Who? They will come, said Shurik again and ran away. I was so exhausted that I could not even be bothered thinking about some voices or recalling the forsaken camp, the bomb shelter, or the mine. Almost unconscious, I reached the camp leader's cabin, but I couldn't go to bed right away. Well, look who's here. Olga Dmitrievna. I started tiredly, attempting to cut the explanation to a minimum. You said you were going for a walk, but instead, and I was going to go and call the police, and Olga Dmitrievna, can't wait until tomorrow, I'm really tired. The camp leader eyed me all over. Okay, fine. I was a bit surprised that she agreed so fast, but decided not to waste this opportunity and quickly turned the light off and darted under the covers. Well, tell her that you find Shurik, though. Day 5. The last day, I think. Is it 5 days or 7 days? I'm not sure. We ran with the last of our strength, like those who run for their precious lives, like a doomed person knowing that there is no hope to save his life, will still fight the inevitable and his own fate. I barely managed to close the heavy metal door behind me. I have no idea how deep this bomb shelter is, or if it's able to withstand a nuclear blast, but we have no other places to hide. She gripped my hand tight. Don't be afraid. Who? Bits of the ceiling were falling and the walls were shaking. I was prepared for the worst, but death is the kind of thing that you can't ever be prepared for. But suddenly, complete silence fell. It rang even louder than the explosions. Maybe it's time to say goodbye, she was whimpering. I wanted to comfort her somehow, but realized that there's nothing I could do. Yes, a horrible bang almost split my eardrums. It seems that I'm under a piece of collapsed ceiling, but I don't feel any pain. All I want is to not let her go. Only Mr. Sun where the stars is now. I woke up in cold sweat, short of breath and gasping for air. It took me some time to come to my senses. It was a dream. It was just a dream. It was only just a dream. My questioning mind, however, refused to believe it. But who was that girl with me there? I didn't want to let go of her hand so desperately. Sadly, I couldn't recall her at all. The clock was showing a few minutes past 10. I slowly came to my senses as reality started to stake out its claim on my mind, and my stomach foully growled. Alright, war is war, but lunch should be served in due time. It turned out that Olga Dmitrievna wasn't here. She must have decided not to wake me up. Well, thanks go out to our camp leader for this. What? Well, thanks go out to our camp leader. Okay. After yesterday's adventure, I had to have a rest. Last night was remained a blurry memory, which I really didn't want to think about. It's now more important to find something to eat and to wash myself. Exactly. Because the pioneer must always be clean and tidy. Why do you talk about this? Just go and do it. Though I would agree with this principle even if I wasn't a pioneer. As a matter of fact, I'm not. On my way to the wash dance, I met Electronic. He started to wave his hands and ran up to me. Good morning. Thank you for finding Shurik. Without him, I don't even. It's nothing. I was a bit embarrassed. No, really, don't be so shy. The country must be proud of its heroes. And what about Shurik? How did he look this morning? Is he alright? After yesterday's craziness, I thought such a question was completely valid. Yes, absolutely. The only thing is that he can't remember anything. Can't he? I wasn't surprised at all. He says that he went to the abandoned camp yesterday and then woke up in his bed in the morning. So he was basically possessed. Woke up, yeah. I mean, he remembers nothing between those two events. I see. Alright then. You missed breakfast, right? Come to our club. We'll feed you. I have something special. Electronic smiled in a conspiratorial way. Thanks, I'll come probably. I had to wash myself first anyway. We'll be waiting. He waved at me and left to carry out his own business. There was nobody near the wash dance. The water turned out surprisingly warm today. It's been warmed up already, I guess. Having my face washed, I realized that it wouldn't be easy to wash the rest of my body here. Maybe I should go to the showers. But since there is nobody here, I turned the tap in such a way the water streamed parallel to the ground. Started to take off my clothes. What if somebody sees me? Well, I'll rinse and dry myself quickly and put on my clothes. Yeah, because that always works. The water which she'd warmed on my hands and face felt bone-chillingly cold on my body. The whole washing process took no longer than 10 seconds, and I started to wipe myself quickly afterwards. You wiped yourself? You wiped your butt? But I didn't manage to finish anyway. There were voices coming in from the direction of the footpath. Yeah, because it's a footpath. The only solution came to me in a split second. I grabbed my clothes and dashed into the bushes. A moment later, Alisa and Lena appeared near the wash dance. You could have done it by yourself. Why did you bring me here? Is it a big deal for you? Fine, let me. I peered at them and noticed that they were both covered in red paint. What a surprise. I wonder how they managed that. Alisa opened the valve and started to rub Oleana's back. Take off your bra. What if somebody sees us? What, is there anything to see? She grinned. Okay, just be quick. Please don't show me this. I can't post that on YouTube. It was true that there wasn't much to look at, but even so I stared at the girls narrowly. It was a pity that they were standing with their backs to me. A minute later, Alisa managed to wash off all the paint. I'm done. Thanks. You're welcome. Alisa replied lazily. Listen, let me try on yours. She pointed at Elisa's bra. It won't fit you for sure. Well, I'd like to try anyway. But out here? There's nobody here, right? Leon looked my way and smiled archly. Oh, she knows I was there. I was absolutely sure she couldn't see me in these bushes, but enough with this nonsense. Liliana wasn't listening to her anymore and grabbed Elisa's bra with a dexterous move instead. Now I have to confess, I had something to look at. I had something to look at Elisa's boobies. I watched the two girls chase one another around the wash dance with bated breath. Alisa covered her breast with her hands so I could barely see anything at all. Well, you said you could see something. I leaned forward and stumbled over a stone falling out of the bushes. Of course. Alisa and Liliana stood frozen, staring at me. I tried to cover my nudity with my guilty face. The tableau lasted for a few seconds, then Alisa took her shirt and somehow put it on in an instant. You. Her face gone from red to purple. It looked like she would explode in a nuclear blast in a second. The only thing I wanted was to disintegrate into atoms and to get as far from the epic as possible. He was sitting there the whole time, so she noticed me then. You, and I accidentally, if you know what I mean. Alisa rushed at me. Covering my butt with one hand and holding my clothes with the other, I ran in the woods. It seemed the best solution to me at the time, as showing up naked in the middle of the camp accompanied by two screaming girls wasn't a good idea. I ran without looking back and stopped a few minutes later to catch my breath. It seemed that there was no pursuit, so I managed to save myself, but at the cost of lacerated, scratched, and bleeding feet, as I had no time to put on my boots. I sat on a tree stump and sighed. Sometime later, having dressed already, I left the forest. I need to decide what to do next. My feet are hurting, so I should go straight to the infirmary. But on the other hand, my stomach isn't going to wait either. Maybe I should accept Electronic's invitation, or head to the canteen in the hope of finding something left to eat there. The clubhouse is where Amika could be. No, she's in the music club. Oh, the next best thing is the nurse. I was always I was always took good. Okay, you was always took good care of my. Okay, I was always took good care of my health, and even better care at the times when something starts to hurt badly. So without hesitation, I made my way to the infirmary. But right in front of the door, I stopped as if some mysterious force was holding me. I had absolutely no desire to face the camp nurse without any urgent need, but on the other hand, I almost did a great deed yesterday defending the infirmary. So in some sense, she owed me. I took heart and opened the door. Hi, Pioneer. Hello. I'm sorry that I was so late yesterday. It was no problem at all. Why have you come? Are you sick? She smiled slyly. Well, I got my feet a bit. You got a bit what? My feet. I gave a stupid answer. Okay, show me. I sat on the couch and took off my boots. How did you manage that? I better keep silent about what happened near the wash dance. Well, okay, never mind, wait a sec. Safe, safe. I just heard the ticking and I was thinking Harry Potter and the mysterious ticking noise. She rummaged in the drawer and took out a big red pill with a cross-shaped notch from a vial. And what is that for? I was disturbed by the size of the pill and its strange shape. They are broken in halves, usually, and not in quarters. This is to make the amputation of your legs unnecessary. What? I mean, I said it was the next best thing, but I mean, I didn't expect this. Nothing. Don't be afraid. I like the two colored eyes though. Like these eyes. Nothing. Don't be afraid, Pioneer. You'll take it and I just you'll take it and we'll all be alright. And this pill, why does it look like that? It's for patients who refuse to take medicines orally. Why is the text right under her boobs? It's hard to read them. We screwed into them with a screwdriver then. I didn't dare to ask where they were being screwed in actually, and now tried to bury it a bit. She took a big pack of cotton wool, wrapped the bud with it, and applied plenty of iodine to it. I don't have the mouse on her boobs. I didn't notice it that it was here, but I like the two colored eyes. I braced myself for the torments of hell. I moaned quietly. I'm not gonna try moaning quietly. That's just dumb. But my trust in this method of disinfection was much higher than in the odd pill, so I had to withstand the burning. Now it's done. I put on my boots and tried to walk. My feet were still hurting, but the sharp pain was gone. Thank you. Don't mention it. Drop in any time, Pioneer. I said goodbye and left the infirmary. My health problem was solved. It's the right time to eat now? Is it? Probably. They had just started and I've gone through so many things already. But I did it and now have legitimate grounds to fill myself up. Legitimate. Today I wasn't the last one, so I could choose a free table. What? Oh, okay. Lunch included pea soup, Ugh. And mashed potatoes with fish. Depends on what fish. I eat salmon. That's probably just it. I just eat salmon. That's the best fish to eat. And maybe mackerel, like mackerel in tomato sauce. It's great. Mwah. But that is for bread. Anyway, it was a major disappointment to me as I don't eat fish in any form and hence will get fewer calories than usually. Well, it's just breakfast though, so why have fish for breakfast? I mean, if it's mackerel and tomato sauce, that's okay. But like potatoes and mashed potato, was it mashed potato? Mashed potatoes with fish and pea soup. Why have that for breakfast? Soon Slavia and Lena came to my table. Hi, beautifuls. Can we? She smiled nicely. Yes, sure. I stood up and pulled out a chair for her. Please. When you pull out the chair for the girl just out of nowhere, I mean, you did lay over her, but that was just because you felt it. You know, I was in an excellent mood at that moment. Enjoy your meal? Saying that, Lena began staring at me and continued for some time, but then, after realizing how odd she looked, switched to her plate. You too? Do you have any plans for today, Semyon? Nope. I gave her an honest answer, as indeed I had no plans. Except for searching for answers, but that was more like a global goal. Do you want to take a boat ride to the island with us? The island? Oh, I think I've seen it from the pier. For what? Olga Dimitrievna asked us to gather some strawberries. There are a lot of strawberries there, and they're so delicious. They're delicious. I could imagine the taste without even eating it, just by looking at Slavia's face. Strawberries. And what are those for? I don't know, but it's indeed a great idea. Well, probably for jam, dude. Or maybe like a dessert with cream and... Oh, well, indeed it is. Moreover, I haven't been to the island yet. Yeah, sure. 2 girls, 1 island. I'm sensing a threesome here. Wait, was that it? It's just a dot 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 and then we're just suddenly here? Within minutes we were already standing at the pier. Well, here is the boat. Hang on, I'll go and fetch the paddles now. I was left face to face with Lena. Do you like strawberries? Well, not really, but they're tasty. You don't like strawberries, but they're tasty. What? Lena smiled. I see. I didn't know what to say next, how to continue the conversation. Am I? Just have to see if I'm still recording. If Slavia didn't come back, we could probably sit here till the evening without saying a word. Here you go. She handed me a pair of hefty pedals. Yeah, thanks. Of course, I am the one that's gonna row the boat. We got into the boat, I untied it, pushed up the shore, and tried to start paddling. And where exactly are we heading to? Right there. She pointed her finger at the island. That island is named the closest one. Because it's the closest one? I wonder what captain gave it such an original name. Well, the island is indeed close to the shore. Aye, aye, Captain. If only I'd known what was waiting for me ahead. I wasn't an experienced oarsman. I rowed a boat just once or twice in my entire life. Well, I have been in canoes and what are those other things called? Kayak? And I will never go kayaking again. Ever. It was less than half a mile to the island, but we were making our way in zigzags thanks to my skills. By approximately the middle of the trip, my arms hurt so badly that I dropped the pedals to get some rest. Well, aren't there any strawberries anywhere else? I mean, in more accessible places? But the tastiest ones grow there. I know why you want me to go to the island. You just want the threesome at all. Slavia gave me a puzzled look. Is it hard for you to row alone? Lena, unlike Slavia, understood everything straight away. Oh, it's nothing. Anyway, I couldn't let a fragile girl help me. The rest of the way I spent concentrating on staying alive while getting to the island. Slavia and Lena? I think there is a typo here. Slavia and Lena discussed something, but I wasn't listening. It was too much for me. At last we arrived. Completely exhausted, I got out on the shore and looked at the boathouse. It seemed so far away that I felt like a first person on the moon watching the Earth rise. Here you go. Slavia handed me a basket. It was a small island, barely 100 meters long, and it looked more like a birch grove, with even rows of trees covering its entire surface. A calm green sea spread beneath our feet, with wind causing lonely waves on its surface from time to time. Could we just get to the point here and stop thinking about stuff like this? This island looked like a lost paradise. It's no wonder what the most delicious strawberries grow just here. We got to split up. That way we'll do the job faster. Yeah, sure. But there are only 2 baskets, said Lena humbly. Oh, you're right. My bad. So how are we going to split up then? I see Slavia could probably handle herself. Lena is... Don't come down here. Lena is probably too fragile and too shy. So go with Lena. Let me go with you. Let's go. Okay, that's fine. Slavia grabbed the second basket and ventured to the opposite side of the island. Well, let's go. Yeah, Lena smiled. Just pay attention. Don't leave a single bear behind. You too. And dots. So it was harvest time. Indeed, the strawberries here were delicious. I could probably eat them all if I didn't stop myself in time. Despite being wild grown, the berries were close to the garden ones in size and had a rich red color, so it was clear that our visit here wasn't in vain. Lena followed me closely as we had only 1 basket for the both of us. I felt like a real mushroom picker, examining each shrub and carefully pawing the grass. Well, you're much better than me, am I? Frankly, I'm not even counting them. You're right, you are. The basket was already half full. I feel bad for not going with Slavia, but I mean, Lena probably could handle herself. You know, it seems a little bit rude, but I mean, look at her. She was looking down in the boat all the way. Like, you must enjoy nature, right? I do. The bright sun rays pierced the treetops and blinded me for a second. I sat on the ground and leaned against the tree. Still, it's so beautiful here. Lena sat down next to me, so close that our elbows touched. Yeah. We just sat and enjoyed the moment. It seemed like time stood still. The wind gently shook the tree leaves, some bugs lazily hopped around the grass, and splashes of sunlight played on the faraway water surface. Hey, Semyon, hands off. Lena put her hand on my shoulder. I was surprised at first, but then I heard regular breathing and thought that it's just a matter of course. Probably she felt drowsy and wanted to take a quick nap. I just sat there and didn't think of anything for a few minutes, but then words started crossing my mind with ultrasonic speed. Lena, so close, sleeping, so warm, so gentle. Feelings. I gazed at her. She had such a serene, such a tranquil look on her face that it seemed that right now she's not here, but in some kind of a better world. If you think dreams are a better world, you're wrong, because I have a lot of nightmares. I don't know what should have happened next moment if I didn't hear the voice of Slavia. Semyon, Lena? I shook my head from side to side a few times to come to my senses. Lena started to wake up. She opened her eyes and gave me an empty look. Have a nice dream? Huh? Suddenly realizing that she had dozed off leaning on my shoulder, Lena blushed. Oh, I'm sorry. It's fine. Slavia came over to us, so Lena rushed to get up. So how much have you got? That's not a lot. I sighed. That's not a lot. Her basket was filled with strawberries to the brim. Well, it's enough anyway. It's time to get back. I grabbed the basket and we headed back to the boat. The way back took less time as I tried to concentrate on rowing and ignoring everything else. My only wish was to get back alive, as the first trip hadn't gone without consequences, and now my hands started to hurt after only a few sweeps. up the oars. Having tied up the boat, I fell to the ground with no energy left. Slavya and Lena leaned over me. You could have said something if it was so hard for you. Yes. Never mind, it's fine. I'll just lie here for a bit and everything will be alright. Okay, then get those baskets to Olga Dmitrievna, please. We have something else to do. Yeah, sure. I was ready to agree with anything at the moment, just so I wouldn't have to get up. Slavia put the... Gmail, can you just go away from my screen? I'm trying to read here. Thank you. Slavia put the baskets full of strawberries next to me and headed to the square, happily chatting with Lena about something. The hardest part is done anyway. That's what I thought before I got up and took the baskets. After the rowing, they felt like cement bags, even while weighing barely more than a few kilograms each. So the trip to the camp leader's cabin took much longer than usual. I had to stop every 50 meters to have a rest. Once I finally made it, I put the baskets on the ground and sat on the deck chair with difficulty. Olga Dmitrievna, I got presents for you. I got presents for you. There was no answer. I barely managed to get up and enter the cabin. There was nobody there. If you don't need them, it's up to you. I lay down on the deck chair and fell asleep. I had a weird dream about a strawberry race. What the fuck is wrong with you? I was rowing a boat with my last ounces of strength trying to escape huge berries that were chasing me. My hands were failing me, and I could barely see anything because of the sweat covering my face. Blood was hammering in my temples, but strawberries were getting closer. The strawberries, oh no, such a nightmare. They were baring their teeth at me. But wait, strawberries with teeth? Semyon? Semyon? I woke up. Olga Dmitrievna was standing beside me, shaking my shoulder. I see you got a rich harvest, didn't you? Thanks to the girls' help. Okay, but that's not all. Seriously, I was just anticipating the lovely rest I was about to have. Do you even know what these strawberries are for? Not a clue. What an honest confession. We'll make a cake out of them. I see. Well, that makes sense. To honor the miraculous rescue of Shirk. And it's all thanks to you. I mean, if he can't remember what happened, how do you know it was me? Because I said I was going to look for him alone. That doesn't mean I found him. Maybe he got back and I get back at the same time. Who knows? It was clear that getting the strawberries wasn't the last thing left to do. And why, please tell me, if I'm such a hero, why do I have to organize a celebration in my name all by myself? Well, I guess. So, I have an important task for you. We are missing yeast, flour, and sugar, and need it all in the canteen before dinner. And those who will make the cake can't deal with it on their own somehow? I asked pitifully. Of course they can't. All of them are busy, and you're the only one in the whole camp who does nothing. Thanks. While her words were partly true, that doesn't make it any easier for me now. I mean, I have no energy left. That's why I fell asleep. So yeah, I'm not doing anything because I am too tired to do anything because I've done everything. So I have done everything. Moreover, those words felt like a bullet to my head. So write it down. You'll get yeast in the infirmary, flour in the library. Why? A flour in the library? And sugar in the clubhouse. Wait, I have no time. I'm in a hurry. Good luck. That smile though. She smiled slyly and left. Of course, there are a lot of strange things in this camp, but yeast in the infirmary? Okay, I can deal with that. But flour in the library, that was exactly what I was thinking. And I just need to check the time because I need to wake my brother up in half an hour. And sugar, I know it's way beyond my comprehension. I spat on the floor. I don't want to, and I will not believe this. Just tell me you're pulling my leg. Now you're pulling out my dick. I would not be surprised if a crowd of fat green trolls would appear here right now beside me. With every one of them feeling obligated to laugh at me. Why green trolls? Why? So maybe to hell with this cake. I weighed my options for some time. No, if such a major plan of Olga Dmitrievna's fell through, I'd be in for a world of hurt. Okay. And it would complicate both my life in the camp and my search for answers, which I've stopped for quite a while. Now, I don't think I'll get Miku. I will still try to get Miku at every time I can get to Miku. But other than that, I'm gonna go with Lena. Alright? Okay, cool. It seems I have no choice. So, I mean, infirmary is the nurse, but let's go to the library first. Because we have this girl there that is very feisty, and I just want to be done with her. If every other place on the cake ingredient list made at least some sense to me, then flour from the library made none. I thought hard about who would put it in the library and why, but couldn't find any sane explanation after all. Honestly, given Senia's harsh nature, I'd better knock first. Open! Senia peered at me closely from behind her glasses. What do you want? Don't think anything weird, but I didn't want to look like an idiot and decided to explain things carefully. I need some flour. Olga Dmitrievna said that it's here. I understand that it sounds strange to keep the flour in the library, but I was sent to you, and it's needed for a cake to celebrate Shurik's rescue. Yes, I have the flour. What's so strange about it? Senior replied with surprise. I mean, it's a library. You can't have flour in a library. I have been in a library so many times, and I have not seen any flour. I've seen books, cooking books, that probably has the word flour in it. At that second, I felt like I'd been hit on the head with a heavy weight and lost the ability to understand anything at all. Flour in the library. Sure, what's so strange about it? We're in Wonderland. I'm Alice, and now I'm gonna eat that magic mushroom and I'll be back home. Hey, yeah? I was daydreaming. Wait here, I'll be right back. She disappeared behind the bookshelves while I folded my hands and started waiting. A moment later, the sound of a trap door groaning on its hinges reached me. Hey, you need some help? I inquired loudly. I'll deal with it. Xenia barked out to me. She seems to be in the basement, so I'll have to wait a little. Okie dokie. She? A few minutes passed, but Xenia still hadn't returned. I was starting to get worried when the door was suddenly flung open and Alisa came into the library. She looked surprised too, seeing me here. What are you doing here? Am I not allowed to be here? I said rudely to her. Alisa was clearly a bit overwhelmed. Why do I care? She snorted and headed to Xenia's table. Why are you here then? Alisa measured me with her eyes carefully and almost opened her mouth to say something, but then seemed to change her mind and turned away, hiding her hands behind her back. Turning a book? I blurted the first thing off the top of my head. It's none of your business. I mean, Alisa would probably not. Yeah. Returning a book. She replied with a hint of hesitation. What book is it? Alisa was silent. Oh, come on, let me see it. I wonder what Miss High Voltage Keep Away Oh, come on, let me see it. I wonder what Miss High Voltage Keep Away reads. It's none of your business. Her voice was even less confident. She's pregnant. Okay. I don't insist or anything. In fact, I was quite interested to find out what Alisa was reading. Moreover, I was quite amused to see a book in her hands. TV, movies, or a computer, if one were available here. All these things seemed to be much more appropriate entertainment for a girl like her. But she had a book instead. Tried to snatch the book out of her. My curiosity won. I struck the right moment when Alisa was looking away from me and snatched the book. Ouch! She screamed. In the following second, her face took on such an expression that it made me question my decision. If I'm about to die, at least I will know what for. I held a copy of Gone with the Wind in my hands. I feel like I've heard that book before. Heard about it. Is that a real book? Because I feel like I've heard something about Gone with the Wind before. That was the same book that Lena was reading that evening on a bench. Maybe that's where I got it from. Is Gone with the Wind a book? Like, for those who like books. I haven't read books. I mean, I read books, but I don't read them much anymore. I have a computer now, but I read on the computer. That was the same book that Lena was reading at the evening on a bench. I was so astonished that I completely forgot about my imminent death. Is it interesting? Yeah. Lisa answered without any enthusiasm, blushing. Okay then. I handed the book back to her. Lisa threw it on the table and left the library quickly without looking at me. So human things aren't alien to her. In the end, she too is a girl. Yeah, this is probably the week, you know. But she tried to say that I molested her, basically. After a quick review of everything that just happened, I concluded that there was actually nothing that strange. Finally, Senia's deep groan rang out, reaching each and every corner of the library. Grab it! I passed by the bookshelves and beheld the perspiring librarian sitting near the trapdoor leading into the basement with a small sack next to her. Well, they might have some sort of a storehouse down there. Thanks. I took the sack and left the library. But I had questions about that trapdoor. Because she said she in the basement. What? Thank goodness it wasn't too heavy, so I carried it down to Olga Dimitrievna's cabin without too much effort. Apparently it is. How long have I been recording? Oh, it crashed. My computer crashed. Yeah, I think that's a good time to end then. Oh, I hate when that happens. Can I at least save? Of course I can. Save game. Save game. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I hope I'll be seeing you next time. Can I get out of the game? There we go. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let's look at this cute cat girl while we end. So yeah, I'll see you later. Hopefully this video wasn't too short. Well, probably wasn't. I'm tired of speaking. I found Shurik. I've seen boobies. I've seen cleavage on the infirmary lady, nurse. I've been with Slavya and Lena picking berries. Lena was sleeping on me. Lena was smiling at me, and old guy smiling at me. I got flour. I mean, that was the best thing of the whole session. Finding the flower. Anyway, thank you, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.